Tommy Chong, the man who made millions laugh through the haze of smoke and satire, has lived a life few could imagine. For decades, he and his comedy partner, Cheech Marin, were cultural icons, the kings of counterculture humor, and the faces of an era that redefined what it meant to be cool. But behind the laughter, fame, and marijuana jokes, there was one night that changed Tommy Chong's life forever, a night that, as he admits at 87, nearly destroyed everything he had built. Chong's story began far from the bright lights of Hollywood. Born in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, in 1938, Tommy grew up in a working-class family with big dreams and little money. Music was his first love. In the early years, he played guitar in local bands and toured dive bars, hoping to find his place in the world. Then, in the late 1960s, fate brought him together with Richard Cheech Marin, a Mexican-American comic with a quick wit and a knack for storytelling. Together, they created something revolutionary, Cheech and Chong. Their sketches about stoners, rebels, and outcasts became anthems for a generation tired of the establishment. From Up in Smoke to Nice Dreams, they built an empire of laughter. But fame, as Chong would later admit, is a double-edged sword. The world saw the jokes. They didn't see the pressure, the personal conflicts, and the choices that would one day come back to haunt him. By the early 2000s, Tommy's career had taken a new turn. He was older, wiser, and still beloved by millions. But his business venture into selling marijuana-themed products, particularly a line of glass pipes, caught the attention of federal agents. At the time, the United States was cracking down hard on anything related to cannabis paraphernalia, even as the culture around it began to shift. Tommy, known for pushing boundaries, became an easy target. It all came crashing down one night in 2003. Federal agents raided his home in California as part of Operation Pipe Dreams, a nationwide sting targeting bong manufacturers. Chong later described it as surreal, flashing lights, confusion, and disbelief that something as harmless as glass pipes could lead to a felony charge. The government wanted to make an example out of him. And they did. Chong pleaded guilty to distributing drug paraphernalia, though he claimed he was pressured into taking the fall to protect his family and employees. He was sentenced to 9 months in federal prison. That night before he surrendered, Tommy said he couldn't sleep. His thoughts spiraled, from the roaring laughter of sold-out shows to the cold reality that he'd soon be behind bars. He admitted later, "That night, I realized everything I thought I had control over could disappear in an instant." Prison, however, changed him. Instead of breaking him, it made him stronger. Chong spent his time reading, writing, and reflecting on his life. He even formed unexpected friendships with inmates who saw him as a legend, not for his fame, but for his calm, humble spirit. He used humor as his weapon, turning even the darkest moments into stories of resilience. After his release, Tommy Chong became a symbol of survival and second chances. He reinvented himself, advocating for cannabis reform and using his voice to speak out against the hypocrisy of the laws that had once silenced him. Later in life, when he was diagnosed with cancer, he faced it with the same defiant humor that made him famous. "I beat the government," he joked. Cancer didn't stand a chance. Now, at 87, Tommy Chong looks back on his journey with both pride and pain. The night everything unraveled, the night his freedom was taken, became the moment he truly understood what mattered most: family, forgiveness, and authenticity. He's still smiling, still laughing, still the rebel the world fell in love with. But beneath the humor lies the story of a man who lost everything, only to find himself again. Because for Tommy Chong, the real high wasn't the fame, the money, or even the smoke. It was realizing that even when life burns down around you, you can always light it back up again.